Doy comienzo a este evento, a este Meet the Entrepreneur, donde hoy Dozen Investments va a tener la gran oportunidad de presentar a Gazoom, una oportunidad de inversión que nos entusiasma, porque es un sector que ya veníamos hace tiempo queriendo incursionar, el sector del gaming. Y como sabéis, pues la idea y el objetivo de hoy es que conozcáis tanto a Marc como a Lucas, conozcáis las compañías y podáis contarnos todas vuestras dudas, inquietudes y preguntas sobre la compañía, ¿no? Hoy día vamos a conversar sobre Marc y Lucas, sobre su compañía, sobre el mercado y sobre la oportunidad de inversión, que es lo que nos trae hoy día. Ese como primer objetivo, y como sabéis, el segundo objetivo, pues el objetivo de Dozen aquí es ofrecer a nuestros inversores pues oportunidades de inversión del mercado de capital riesgo español, ¿no? Y por tanto tenemos un equipo que está trabajando permanentemente en búsqueda de deal flow, búsqueda de oportunidades, y esta oportunidad de coinversión con Wida surgió recientemente, hace 2 meses, donde tuve oportunidad de conocer a Marc y Lucas. Encajamos rápidamente, entendimos perfectamente lo que quieren hacer con Gazoom y la oportunidad que tienen, y es así que decidimos en esta compañía, que es una compañía que, como sabéis, comienza, o sea, tiene alrededor de unos 6, 8 meses funcionando, ya me corregiréis, y que tiene un futuro prometedor. Antes de dar la palabra o de presentar a Marc y Lucas, os explico brevemente nuestra tesis de inversión. En primer lugar, bueno, el mercado, ¿no? Es decirlo, es una obviedad, pero el mercado del gaming es un mercado enorme, ¿no? Se habla de que está creciendo, pero no es que está creciendo. El mercado de gaming ya es una realidad. En términos del sector de entretenimiento, ya se dice y se calcula que el gaming, todos los revenues, todos los ingresos, toda la facturación alrededor del gaming ya es más que el cine y la música en conjunto, ¿no? Como industria del entretenimiento. Entonces es un mercado muy grande, además que se ha ramificado, ¿no? El mercado de desarrolladores de videojuegos, el mercado de Esports, que hemos estado leyendo mucho alrededor de ello, y también el mercado de contenidos, ¿no? El mercado de contenidos alrededor del gaming. Entonces, eso como punto número uno. Punto número dos, es una compañía de productos, es una compañía de tecnología. Lo que están haciendo Marc y Lucas es están desarrollando tecnología, están desarrollando un producto. Cuando nos sentamos y nos conocimos, nos contaron el product roadmap, las distintas funcionalidades que están trabajando a través de Gazoom y a través de su equipo, y el hecho de que sea una compañía que esté desarrollando tecnología nos motivó. Es una empresa que acaba de comenzar, pero tiene ya una tracción prometedora y tiene ya usuarios y tiene buena recurrencia con estos usuarios. Esto lo vamos a comentar más adelante en la entrevista, o en la sesión, pero vamos a hablar del modelo de negocio que están planteando, que también es algo que nos pareció que tenían resuelto desde un inicio. Entonces, bueno, con este pequeño preámbulo, y antes de introducir a Lucas y Marc, es que esta serie de preguntas y la sesión va a ser en inglés, ¿vale? Marc y Lucas hablan muy bien castellano, pero pues no queremos que el idioma sea una barrera para que ellos se puedan expresar con fluidez. Pero no obstante, cualquier pregunta que tengáis, podéis hacerla en inglés, en castellano, como queráis. O en alemán incluso, porque Marc y Lucas son de allí, pero bueno, que el idioma no sea una barrera. Vamos a hacer la sesión en inglés, pero que como veáis. Y si algún tema no queda resuelto y no lo habéis entendido bien, pues perfectamente nos podéis escribir después, dado que la presentación está en castellano. Bueno, los presento, Lucas. Now we can switch to English if you like, so I can warm up my English then.
Perfect.
Okay, so this is Lucas and Marc. As you can see, they're both twin brothers. Lucas is a graduate in business for the EBS Business School in Germany, and he was doing a master's in management in the Pompeu Fabra in Barcelona. While doing his master's, is that the Gazoom idea showed up, and when he started the business. Marc, his brother, he's also a graduate in.
Hi guys.
Hi. In business and management for the EBS school in Germany. Where is it in Germany, the school?
in Rheingau, so basically where the German wine region is as well. So next to Wiesbaden and Frankfurt, so a little bit left from it. So it's the height of Frankfurt, just left.
Great, great. And before joining Gazoom, Mark was working in Mercedes-Benz in the financial services area. So he's led Mercedes-Benz to join as a co-founder in Gazoom. So sorry to keep you waiting, guys. Mark Lucas, welcome.
Hey, guys.
So to start things off, tell us, so what is Gazoom? How do you, first of all, why gaming? Why is your expertise relevant in this area? And what is Gazoom and how did the project start?
Of course. So first, I would like to pitch a little bit what Gazoom is in one sentence. So Gazoom is a dedicated platform for gamers, which automatically captures all gaming highlights and then lets the user access them anywhere, anytime through the mobile device. Now, a little bit of background. Why gaming industry? So Mark and I have always been passionate about gaming, actually obsessed. So we started playing computer games when we were only 6 years old. Now, going a bit forward, in 2017, Martin and I were really obsessed with playing Counter-Strike. So Counter-Strike is a fast-paced shooter where it's really important to communicate well with your teammates. Now, back in the day, we were either playing with friends or with people, but the problem with other people is that they, especially in Europe, they might not speak English very well or not German or either language. So the problem is you have teammates with whom you can't communicate, and it's very frustrating if you lose a game just because you can't communicate well. And that's why Mark and I said, oh, like, let's find a solution. Like, what should we do? Is there any solution out there? And yeah, there was no solution out there. And that's how we started with the first idea of Gazoom. Then in fall 2017, while we were looking for a CTO, we met Sergio. Sergio back in the day was still doing his own startup with another technology, like another CTO, which was basically Clash Royale 2 versus 2 before it actually was released themselves. But at that time, we were already talking with him, got to know with him, as well as we were playing a lot of computer games with him, because it's really important to bond, right? So you're just playing with him because you get to know that person so much better. Because if you want to work with somebody, we really believe it's important to bond with them first. Now, that year later in November, Sergio sadly had to close his previous startup because the co-founders were both technical and they did not have any business guy in the company. Now, then in January 2018, he joined the co-founders. And then in 2018, Mark also moved to Canada, from Canada to Barcelona, and we all started working full-time on Barcelona and on Gazoom. So yeah, that's basically the quick sum up of why Gazoom, why the gaming industry, and how we met. Well, how Mark and I met, that's pretty obvious.
Yes, exactly. So tell me, so besides offering a technology based on your software, you've also created a social network for gamers. So what can you tell us? Can you go deep into Gazoom's value proposition?
Of course. We actually started off with a social network, which was a mobile app for gamers. So back in the day, we only solved the problem with where do you actually share your gaming highlights onto? Because current social media, you have a social persona. For example, on LinkedIn, you're the professional guy. On Instagram, you're the adventurer, the cool guy. Facebook, maybe you text some friends. But what happens to your gaming highlights? Where do you share those onto? If you share it on either of those networks, you're actually going to hurt your social persona and what people think of you. So we solved that problem. But then in 2019, we went to Startup Bootcamp. And then we realized during our customer discovery phase, hey, there's actually a second side to this coin. There's a second value proposition that we're missing. It's actually recording the highlights because, man, people are excited playing the game and then they just forget to press the button to record it. So it was manual recording back in the day. So we figured automatic recording. So we actually combined these two value propositions into one ecosystem that automatically captures all your gaming highlights and enables you to share them across platforms with all your friends without hurting your social persona. But to better visualize this, I would like Lucas to actually explain it with a 5 and 10-star experience. So to better explain this concept, I would like to go to a product that everybody knows and explain the 5 and 10-star experience. So for example, Instagram. What would be the 5-star Instagram experience? The 5-star Instagram experience would be you and your friends having a glass of wine or maybe a bottle of wine on a rooftop in Barcelona, just enjoying the view. Now, one of your friends is taking photos and videos of you, and the end of the night tells you, hey, this is the photo or video you should be uploading on Instagram. So let's imagine what could be a 10-star experience look like. So the 10-star experience could look like that you and your friends would just enjoy a glass of wine, or of course the bottle on the rooftop, and you have an invisible camera team taking photos invisible and videos of you, and then recommending you at the end of the night which one is the best to upload on Instagram. This is what Gazoom does for gamers. It automatically captures all gaming highlights and then lets the user share it on the mobile device with their friends, without hurting, of course, their personal persona. Social persona.
And it can be shared everywhere, in every platform. I mean, the
So
format
yes.
yes. Y si no os quedó claro, lo que ofrece Gazoom es registrar a través de uno abre sesión en Gazoom y mientras está en la sesión de videojuego, la tecnología de Gazoom lo que hace es registrar los momentos más emocionantes de esa partida de videojuego y luego eso lo reproduce en un clip que puede ser compartido en cualquier red social.
Sorry, the internet just cut off.
Don't worry, we're back. We're back together.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I think from my end, it was pretty clear what does Gazoom does in terms of generating these highlights, this exciting content for gamers to share on various social platforms. So can we talk about the technology? That is this automated? Like, how does the technology work?
Yeah. So in general, I would like to describe how it generally works right now if you don't use Gazoom, and then explain how Gazoom works. So for example, currently, if you play a computer game, let's say Fortnite, a normal recording tool would be all manual, so it would be running in the background. Now you're playing and super excited, and now you did a double kill, triple kill, or whatever epic moment. Now you have to press the button to get that recording. Then afterwards, you might have to edit it, and then get it to your phone if you want to share it on Instagram or whatever. Well, if you download Gazoom, you can just enjoy your time, have a great time with your friends. Gazoom automatically captures it. Then you can edit a little bit as well. Then will be synced through our cloud on your mobile device, so our Gazoom app, and you can share it from there to any platform or directly on Gazoom, however you prefer. So that's just the summary. Also there, I can also how our technology works. So we have actually access to live data, but I think it might be better just to visualize it. I want to show you two videos. One is how of Gazoom, that it actually captured a moment. And then we call it a compilation, what we're currently beta testing. So I have two videos open that I can just quickly share with you guys. Share my screen. Just let you know the quality will probably be a little bit lagging because it's a stream. So let's go. Let's see how fully you can see. Can you see the highlight or at least a YouTube video?
Yes, we can see.
Perfect. Then let's play this. Perfect. So what's happening here is a few seconds before the highlight. Now I take out two. It was a tough situation, so it was me versus two, and then I had to wait. They had to defuse the bomb. What happened is I was able to clutch, get the two kills, and now everything was recorded automatically. Now this is like really helpful because like now you have so much adrenaline pumping through your system that you just forget to press the button. Now the second feature I would like to share with you guys. Wait, let me share the other screen. 1 second. Share screen. Application window. So now before I start pressing play on this video, so what actually Gazoom does now, what we're beta testing right now, is called a compilation feature, meaning after a gaming session, for example, if you play Valorant, you can have like 20, 25 kills in one game. And what are you going to do with it, right? And we are testing right now.
We're only watching a black screen.
I'm just giving you a little overview before I press play. So this is a compilation, meaning it just cuts all the highlights of a gaming session into one clip. So just to give you an example, so it's just like always just the highlights. See, just like kill. Now it switched to the next clip, and it just compilates it and compresses it into one clip. We are beta testing this now. And hopefully we can release this soon as well for our users to try out, because it just improves the quality of content. So yeah, here we go.
So if we and now we only see a black screen, by the way.
No, did you see the video?
Yes, we did.
Right,
Now, just to do a brief parallelism of what you've just explained.
Yeah.
It's like after a match of football, Gazoom what can create it's video clips of the highlights of the whole game, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Fully automated.
Yes. Press of a button. Well, and we are beta testing it, so it will be a press of a button, because in the end you have a roster which showcases each individual kill, and then you can select and just press a button, and then it will create a compilation.
Great.
By the way, does the camera work again? Because for us, Zoom is bugging and we only see white. Yeah, we don't see anything. Okay, perfect. That's fine with us. All right. So yeah, go ahead, please.
Now let's go to the next question. So having a clear vision of what Gazoom does, now we understand what you do. Can you give us some of the main important milestones of the company?
Yes, of course. So I would start probably in 2019 when we joined Startup Bootcamp. So in Startup Bootcamp, as Mark mentioned earlier, we really had that moment when we realized we were only solving half of the problem, because we had a dedicated platform, meaning our mobile app, where people could share the highlights on, so not hurting their social persona. But we forgot about the first problem of actually capturing those moments automatically. Now I was in fall 2019. Then in December, we started developing our desktop tool. And in January 2020, so less than 2 months of development, we launched our desktop application. In April, we started advertisement, so monetization, because we believe it's crucial to have a really good monetization strategy, especially if you're dealing with video. Video is very expensive to handle, and that's why we believe it's so important to have a firm monetization strategy. Now, moving towards the fall of the year, we actually partnered up with 2 league and tournament organizers. Now, how does that even happen? So in fall 2020, league organizers reached out to us and say, like, as a normal user, hey, we were using Gazoom.
Sorry, Mark. Sorry to interrupt you. Could you explain what are league organizers and
yes, okay,
what league organizers are?
Of course. So league and tournament organizers are organizers for a community league. So basically, if I'm an organizer, can create tournaments where other normal players, so not professional players, can join and participate in those tournaments. It's like amateur tournaments. So like you have that similar in soccer and stuff like this. And yeah, there's actually a huge market in there. Like one of the biggest players of league and tournament organizers actually has more than 15 million monthly active users. And that's one of the biggest league and tournament organizers, just to give you some numbers. And yeah, so back to the story. In fall 2020, they reached out to us and said, like, hey guys, we love what Gazoom does with the auto recording. Why not implement this for our leagues and tournaments? Because we have the problem that we can't access the highlights of our users. We have those users, but we can't promote them because we don't get the content. So we analyzed the opportunity and thought, wow, this is actually a really big problem, and we can solve this with our current solution. That's when we pivoted from a B2C to a B2B2C play. And yeah, since then we closed just by inbound traffic already 2 partnerships. And yeah, looking forward to closing more once we go outbound. But yeah, I mean, sure, we will talk about this later as well more. And we already hit more than 6,900 daily active uniques and more than 22,000 monthly active unique users. We have more than 71 million highlights already recorded. That means just in the last few days, each day, we had more than 500,000 highlights captured.
Oh, wow, that sounds exciting. Okay, so let's talk about your target user and the market size. And following up that question, how are you monetizing those users?
Of course. All right, so first, who are users? Well, they're between the age of 16 and 34 years old, and mostly male, 90% actually. Well, and what do? They actually love playing video games, esports titles to be exact. What are esports titles? Well, esports titles are video game titles that are played professionally for a prize pool. These titles include Fortnite, League of Legends, Apex Legends, etc. Massive amounts of gamers. Actually, so how big is the market then? Well, there's more than 1 billion gamers out there, 500 million out of which are playing esports titles. And 50 million gamers are already recording our gaming highlights, well, which is also our initial target market. So how are we going to monetize this? Well, for this, I would like to differentiate between B2C and B2B2C. On the B2C side, we have advertising already up on our platform, where we show clips, videos, or just regular ads to our users. Further, soon we're going to introduce a subscription model to our cloud storage. Think about a Dropbox just for your gaming highlights that automatically syncs the highlights from the desktop to your mobile app. Then on the B2B2C side, we are already, Lucas mentioned, we have 2 partnerships with league organizers and tournament organizers, and soon also with esports teams. Well, what are we offering for them? We're offering them gaming recording features as well as the cloud sync for a subscription fee. And later, we're going to introduce mobile monetization. Well, what is mobile monetization? Currently, game publishers are selling digital assets when people are playing the game. Yet, they miss out on the opportunities when gamers are not playing the game, but are on the phone. So we want to introduce mobile monetization to enable game publishers to sell their digital assets when people are on the phone and not in the game. These are the monetization strategies for now, but we always keep our minds open to new strategies and looking for business development ideas and any other innovations that we might change later on during the process. But that's it for now.
So let's speak a bit about user and client acquisition. So how do you find gamers? How do you retain them as users? How is that working? How is your go-to-market strategy working?
Of course. All right. Again, I would like to differentiate here between current and as well B2C and B2B, and then later what's in the future. So currently we're on the Overwolf App Store. The Overwolf App Store is let's think about it, Google Play Store for hardcore gamers on the PC. We're one of those apps there. So meaning mostly of our organic traffic is funneled through that platform. Additionally, we have search engine optimization, as well as a social presence on Instagram and other social media, which will help us also increase our downloads. We also actually mingled last year a little bit with advertisement, so we know exactly what the cost per installs are and how to target the users. On the B2B side, up in this point, as Lucas mentioned, it was only organic traffic. That means the companies were talking to us and like, hey, I would like to partner up with you. What do you guys think? So, but what's in the future now? Well, on the B2C side, we are going to introduce a referral system, which means that users can actually refer their friends to join the team and join Gazoom, actually. This is kind of a viral effect. Also, we're going to introduce a prize pool. So we're going to have actually clip competitions with prize pools. Last fall, we actually participated in the Alienware Challenge, which were a clip competition where people could share their gaming highlights, and the best gaming highlights would win an Alienware computer. It was amazing. We got so many downloads, and it also increased the engagement and retention, all metrics that really matter. So thereby, we're excited to actually have that in the summer as well. So, but what comes actually in the B2B side? Well, we got to reach out to all the community, league organizers, tournament organizers, esports teams. We already have, through our other investor, a connection to a possible esports team. So these are the future ideas on how to acquire users. And we're obviously looking for new ways every single day to make this the perfect flywheel.
Great to know. Before I want you to speak about competitors, but before answering the question,
of course,
just remind everyone you can ask questions. Like we're in like 10 minutes we're going to finish this ping pong session, so it's awesome. Open. Then we'll open up for questions from the investors. So please feel free to jot down the questions you may have for Mark and Lucas.
Looking forward to them.
Yeah. So let's talk about competitors. So where is Gazoom right now? Which is your competition? Let's open that.
Of course. So our main competitors are actually Metal TV. So first of all, I'm going to mention the competitors, and then what is their strength and what are their weaknesses, and what is a differentiator to Gazoom. So our three competitors are Metal TV, then we have Clutch, Win, and Athena-Scope. So let's start with Metal TV. They actually raised 12.5 million so far, acquired a mobile app which can capture highlights on the mobile device, but they're still stuck on press a button to get a recording, and now are starting to implement computer vision to capture highlights. Now you're wondering, what is computer vision? Is it good, or what is the impact? So the problem with computer vision is when you capture highlight with computer vision, it's really taxing on the computer. Meaning, if you have a low or mid-tier computer, your frames, meaning the smoothness of the gameplay, will suffer. And that really decreases how people perceive the game. Now, next one is Athena-Scope. Athena-Scope is completely a recording tool based on computer vision, which allows the user to capture those highlights, but then as well, super taxing on the system. They raised 4 million. Now, our last competitor, and it's more now an honorable mention, is Clutch.gg or Clutch Win, because they raised 4 million, but they went bankrupt in August of last year because they were just a platform to share gaming highlights onto, but it didn't have a clear monetization strategy. This also goes for the other two competitors that we have. Metal TV, even though they raised so much money, they haven't figured out a real way to monetize it. Whereas we started 3 months after launching, we already started monetization, and really focusing on strategies on how to monetize best, because video is expensive, and we believe that's the way to conquer the market. Now, to summing up, our benefits or our advantages are, first of all, we are an entire ecosystem which allows to capture automatically through live events, which is less taxing on the system. Then we cloud sync it to your mobile device, and then you can edit and share it then to all your friends. So this is our main competitive advantage. So yeah, please always ask if something was not understandable.
No, it was pretty clear to me. Let's speak about these past 2 months. So how has been this year, or 3 months? How has been this year for you, and what are your growth plans for the years to come?
So by last 2 months, you mean like 21 or 2020 in general? Just to clarify,
No, I mean the next. So we can connect this question with your rounds. Or what are your plans, like after raising these rounds, for the next 9 to 12 months?
All right. So, well, first, how were the last few months? Well, the last couple of few months were actually really great for us. We introduced in January, February, we introduced our desktop app after only 2 months of coding it. Then we reached our milestones of 5,000 daily active uniques already in December, which is crazy good. Then we also have found new monetization strategies which also a question later on. We're going to go more into detail on the B2C side, as well as on the B2B2C side. That also great. So what's coming up next on the horizon then? Well, actually, next month, we're going to relaunch our mobile app. Then we're going to have additional features such as video editor introduced, as well as cloud sync, as well as the cloud sync. Yes, exactly. And then obviously monetization strategies wise, we're going to introduce the B2C play, which is the subscription, and we're going to double down on the B2B play. Well, and in the long run, we obviously, as our vision is, we're going to record all gaming highlights across all platforms and then share them into one app, I guess, and then so we can share it anywhere. We're going to have also recording eventually on mobile and console, but this is further down the road. Great. I hope I get a little bit of picture now.
Yes. So let's speak a bit about the round. So just for you to know, you've seen the document. It's a 400,000 euro round. It's like a typical seed round size. We're co-investing along with Wida, and the opportunity for those investors is up to 3,000 K. They've been very strict on that size because, as you know, there's a tendency for a round size to be bigger in terms of seed, but the founders didn't want to lose their position in the company. But tell us a bit about the size of the round. What are you going to do with the funds? Do you plan to grow your team? Where are you going to invest that money? So tell us a bit about that.
Of course. Well, for us, we want to use the round, and like you said, why do we actually want to have a smaller round? Well, for us, we were forced back due to the last 2 years because we had limited or absolutely no financial resources. We're very limited in our team, and we forced us to be very, very precise in how we want to spend the money and be very curious on the new options and how to utilize best our team. So we're super excited to actually expand our team now because we were bottlenecked because of the financial resource. We only had one coder, but now we're able to expand our team with additional coders, which we're going to start hiring as soon as possible to actually execute on our ideas and strategies. We also want to have a UX guy, which will help us with the design and the user experience. Because of right now, it was our doing as well. We're learning by doing it. But yeah, Lucas. So yeah, and then additionally, so after 2 developers, actually we just hired 2 weeks ago our first developer of the 2 that we are hiring, and then the UX UI guy will be coming also in the next few months because we really want to now. It's time to scale up. So yeah, how revolutionary is the okay, those are the questions later. I just saw the question pop up and I was like, oh, maybe it's related to this. But yeah, so the round is basically setting up the stage so so that we can later then raise a Series A round, because we believe with this money we can set up everything that in the next round we can scale really, really big. Because in the end, we rather save some equity now and are very efficient and frugal with that money, so that in the next stage we can scale a team then to 10, 15 people. So yeah, that's the future of the next 2 years, including the next round that we are planning for end of this year or beginning of next year. So yeah.
Great. And before we jump into questions from the investors, and just to sum things up, so what would you say to investors in the audience interested in joining in knowing more about the industry, in joining Gazoom as a shareholder? So what are the headlines of your message? How would you sum things up?
Okay. Well, gaming is a fascinating market that is growing faster and faster. Over the last 2 years, actually, especially with Corona, people have realized that people are connecting with each other just by gaming. It gives them a little bit of connection and the feeling of doing something together. The importance is only going to grow, or is growing actually. There's trends to it that show the double-digit growth year over year in each sector. Is it desktop, mobile, or consoles? The growth is there, but the communication is still a very split market. There's no clear, hey, one social network for gamers right now. Everything is split by either project, game, or even platform. We want to combine all of these together. And that's what we want to build a team to do this. So help us change the way we engage and communicate in the gaming industry by enabling over 1 billion gamers to capture and share the gaming highlights freely. Join us.
Great.
So yeah, that would be it.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for the attitude. Let's go jump directly into questions. So there is a question from and please I'll remind all the spectators there, everyone in the audience, to write your questions either in the chat or in the Q&A section of the Zoom. So let's go first to a question from Mark Vilades. So could you please clarify the monetization? So let's go. I know you've spoken a bit about monetization, so go slowly and differentiate each of the revenue streams you are proposing in Gazoom.
Of course. Well, let's start off with advertising. So we're currently showing advertising on our desktop app. The revenue is actually created through our partnership with Overwolf because they're providing us with all the advertising platform. So this is very clear and straightforward. Then I also mentioned a subscription model. Again, you have to differentiate here between the B2C, so our user base that is using Gazoom, and B2B. So that means tournament organizers, league organizers, esports teams, etc. This is also a subscription fee, meaning they get the recording service as well as the cloud storage shown or given to them. So, and additionally, I mentioned mobile monetization. But what is the mobile monetization actually? So mobile monetization is, think about the Instagram shop. So for example, you see the clip or a picture and there's a skin. Lucas is using this new skin of Blitzcrank. Wow, this looks super cool. Then there's a little button there, you click on it and you can purchase this right from our app. It's very, very similar to Instagram Shop, where you have the clothes marked, tagged, etc., and you can buy on it. I hope this helped a little bit. If not, just please text in there again, and I'll be a little bit more precise. B2C subscription. 100%. I don't know. I didn't get it. I hope this was clear. If not, Mark, please. Yeah. What are the main revenue streams? Where are they coming from? Joaquin, you're muted. I can't hear you. Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Sorry, what I'm showing is the B2C strategy we were speaking of.
Oh, yeah. Okay, perfect. Yeah. Thank you. All right, Mark. All right, Mark's good. Perfect. If not, Mark, anyways, just always just feel free. Exactly. Jump in if you just get a thought. Just always.
So and there's another question from someone from the audience. So how revolutionary is the technology used? How is it? How differentiated? How difficult is it to be copied?
Okay, so that's a really good question. So in the end, Gazoom is based on Overwolf. So Overwolf, as Mark mentioned, is like a Google Play Store for hardcore gamers. And Overwolf actually offers live data, access to live data. So that's why we built on Overwolf. It's first of all a very good way as to start as a niche, and it enables us to get these live data very, very easy and start from there. And then we build up. Now, this is why our future strategy of defensibilities is so important, which will be integrating into the ecosystem by partnering up with league and tournament organizers. Because at the beginning, every platform, imagine TikTok. How did TikTok become TikTok? They started as Musical.ly, a completely utility network or tool which enabled people to basically make lip syncs and then share them on Instagram, so they piggybacked till they reached critical mass and then became their own social platform. We have a similar strategy. So Gazoom is first utility. Now we're integrating into the ecosystem by league and tournament organizers that, first of all, people only want to have one recording tool. And so if it's necessary to participate in a league and tournament, then of course we rather stick to Gazoom. So this is how we, over the long run, build our defensibilities. And then, of course, once we reach the integration directly in the game publishers, the rest, the recording tool itself, will be obsolete. Because if you integrate in the game publishers, meaning I'm not sure whether we mentioned that in the presentation, but then it's all about the social engagement. But yeah.
Great.
Sorry, I'm not sure whether I answered your questions. Please, how do you detect the highlights? That's the question.
I'll address. There's another question. Just a very quick ping pong question. So, what are the games you can record? What are the main games titles Gazoom works with?
Okay. All right. So we currently have 12 titles actually. So they are Fortnite, League of Legends, Apex Legends, Dota 2, Rocket League, Valorant, Rainbow Six Siege, World of Tanks, Heroes of the Storm, Rocket League. They always say that. I think they're missing a few, but yes.
And follow-up question: does Gazoom work only with desktop? Are you planning to work with a mobile?
Yeah. So yes, currently actually it works only on the desktop. But as I mentioned earlier, also we're going to introduce at some point mobile recording as well as on consoles as well. But at this point, we only record on the desktop. And if you mean with like engagement of content, we will be re-releasing our mobile app in the coming months. If you mean like from consumption of gaming content, so yeah, that's also a different part.
Okay, great. So another question into technology: how do you detect highlights? I presume that they're different from one game to another. How can this be scaled? Is the technology scalable?
Yes. So in the end, it's so basically, as I mentioned earlier, Overwolf has partnership, for example, with League of Legends, Riot Games, Fortnite, Epic Games. So there's two different types of data: offline data, which is transferred after the game, and then live data, meaning you have a direct connection to the game and see, for example, kill is happening. Now the recording tool recaptures in a 5-minute loop. Now the event happens and says kill. Then you take the seconds before and afterwards, and then you can create also like longer videos if in the seconds after the first event happens, another one happens. And this way you get single kill, double kill, triple kill, pentakill if you want to. So yeah, that's how the technology works. So yeah, it's scalable. But yeah, so the scalability actually depends on the API given to us based from the game publishers. Yeah. So because it's on their end, we just grab the information and then capture the highlight. Yeah. So that's the given scalability. Also, this brings out the point why it's really important to build up relationships with league and tournament organizers, because they have specific licenses to actually host those tournaments. So they are a stepping stone to actually reach those publishers. So once we want to go directly integrate into the game. So imagine you play Fortnite, and after gaming session, it says, do you want to share your highlights directly onto Gazoom? So it's been captured directly for you without ever installing Gazoom. And then you can just share it wherever you want to or exit it on your mobile device. So this is our vision in the future. So yeah, hope that answered the question.
Yes. I have another question regarding editing and recording technology. So does Gazoom have any editing option after recording clips, like putting it into slow motion, adding music, or maybe changing the appearance of the video?
We're actually currently working on these features, and we're probably going to introduce them either late April or beginning of May. So yes, we don't have them right now, but we're close to actually releasing them.
So it's in your product roadmap.
Yes, exactly. Very soon.
Great. Another question from the audience. Which markets are you focused on? Is it Spain, Germany? Is it a global market? What are the first markets you're addressing?
It's a global market. So first of all, right now, because we have all organic traffic, mostly through Overwolf. So that's why, for example, right now, the biggest market for us is United States. Then is Germany. I think Spain is also in the top 10 of countries.
Brazil is third.
Brazil is third, for example. But in general, I would say the Western Hemisphere is mostly our target, but also it's easy for us because we're a Spanish company to focus like Latin. So all Latin American countries, especially with Spanish advertisement.
Good. And tell us, there's two questions, and the two questions are linked or they're similar. First, it says if you can confirm which part of your business model is related to esports and competitions. That's a part of the question. Related to the B2B strategy you spoken of.
Yep.
And another investor asks if you have any B2B clients. So those two questions. So is it related to esports and competitions? And do you have any clients in this regard?
Yes. So it is related to esports and competitions. So we also mentioned the league organizers and tournament. So there are technically esports, but they're amateur league esports. So esports is just electronic sports or any kind of video game that is played as in competition. So we have these clients. And then again, you think the big screen esports, yes, we're also going to have those clients because esports teams are actually going to use our software to go through the highlights trainings, right? So they practice every single day and then can watch the highlights and see what did we do wrong in this situation, etc. Obviously, then we also have clients. But like I said, these are amateur ones. So that's different than compared to the ones that you see on ESL, etc. So these are the weekend warriors like Lucas and I here, for example. Hey, we're almost diamond. Well, that's true. Well, yeah. Tech question. Okay. I hope that answers the question.
Yes. Let's go deep into tech. So are the video highlights from the desktop where the game is played or rendered from the game platform's API, or is your client capturing video continuously?
So it's a 5-minute loop. So imagine a 5-minute loop, like a black box on the airplane, which captures 30 minutes, but on a PC, it's capturing a 5-minute loop. And we get then directly data from the game itself through an API, which says, now is the event happening. So we're capturing live. So just like once the game or the clip has finished, we just save it because there was a kill. And then the process continues. So it's like a lot of loops that just continue happening.
So there's another question regarding traction and sales and cost of acquisitions. So do you have any data in that regard? So how is the revenue streams going, and how is the client acquisition going?
So is the B2B side and the B2C side, is that the question from Raul?
Yes.
Is that the one? Joking?
Okay. You can differentiate. You can split your answer if you want.
Yeah. Yeah. So, well, we started out, we have 2 B2B clients as of right now. They're actually still in the beta phase. So they're not paying for the services right now because we still need to figure out the kinks, etc. So we're actually going to start with rolling it out in late April and May to the bigger screen. And that's why we also want to have raise this round to make sure that we can actually tackle the broader market with this. That's why we have kept it small. So on the B2C side, well, we currently only have advertising left. But when it comes to the subscription, we're only going to release it next month because then we want to really release it with the mobile app. So you have the cloud sync. So it makes more sense to have this feature. Because otherwise, if you have a clip in the cloud, you can also only access it from a different computer. So the accessibility is not that great. And then concerning or regarding revenue, so in December on the B2C, in December we made roughly 7K US dollars. And then in November, I think it was 5.6K. And in October, I think 3.5 or 4K. So yeah, we've been growing nicely. And this is only ad revenue. Yeah, exactly. So this is really important to differentiate because we believe ad revenue is not sustainable. That's why we also like the subscription model, because in the end, people like to have access on the clips anywhere, anytime. And first of all, there's a free tier, and then they can upgrade if they really, really like that function. So that gives us also the option, sorry, just to go a little bit further now, but for example, Dropbox, how Dropbox actually got a lot of users is because they had a free tier of 250 MB, and then they enabled users to get more space by sending out invite links to their friends, and they're just signing up to the platform. Similar to what we are planning to do with a free tier, and then people can sign up and you get more storage if you invite friends. So it's also one of our flywheels. But yeah, okay.
Okay, so next question. Going back into technology, how difficult will it be for Twitch or other big player to develop a program to do the same thing as Gazoom does?
So, well, let's face it this way. If Twitch really wanted to do it, they have the capabilities as well as the money to do so. We're a small team and we developed this. So if you really want to compete with these guys, it is really hard to. But you have to say here again, the big guys, it's not really their focus to do so. They don't actually develop these kind of technology and then do it. What they do is actually they acquire companies that do this or have this technology. So again, now this would be something that would be considered as exit strategy, not as a competition, because they have the money, but they don't necessarily want to have the heartbreak or just the work to actually do that beforehand. Unless also we're talking about here, we're still in the small numbers as of right now, right? For them, it makes only sense if it's for the big market, if it's proven. And then they just put the money in, especially Twitch with Amazon as a backing, or Facebook coming in with Facebook streaming, etc. So these big, or Google also, exactly, they have the money. Once it's proven, this is the perfect exit strategy. Yeah. Additionally, if you look at Twitch, so for example, Twitch is really just a few content creators who then, it's like TV, right? Twitch is more like a TV alternative, so people are actually watching it, whereas Gazoom is more enabling the casual gamers to share the highlights. So it's a little different market. But yeah, other
questions? So from what I understand is that streaming, it's a category that exists, right? Streaming is a real thing. Twitch is a streaming platform. So with Gazoom, what you're trying to introduce is a highlights category, which is from what I hear, it's a greenfield for you.
Just to give it a better comparison, I would like to, for example, YouTube and Instagram. So YouTube is, for example, you can have videos of 10 minutes of an island and you can just watch it, right? So there's one content creator who creates amazing content and you just consume it. Or you go on Instagram and you see your friends just like sending a 10-second snippet of that video, right? And that's why Instagram is different than YouTube, because it's a different target and the editors or creators are different. Same coming now back to the gaming aspect. Twitch is the YouTube comparison. So there are a few content creators who create for the masses to consume it. Whereas then Gazoom is like Instagram and TikTok nowadays. Or TikTok, right? Yeah, TikTok, same example, just to create their own content and then share it with their friends. So yeah, that's the main differentiator. Exactly. We want to give power to the actual average guys like Lucas and I, or average players, to create their own content and share with their friends. Yeah, because we believe that's the most important part.
And what are your views on that? gaming is still, gaming is penetrated in many social networks, but for instance, it's not popular on Instagram or on others. Do you think that Gazoom will be a means for gaming to be more popular on other social platforms such as TikTok or Instagram?
So I think gaming will be very popular. Well, it is Gazoom, it's only gaming. It will still be quite popular only on our platform and on those platforms such as TikTok and Instagram. If you go on these, it's only content creators that actually make them like streamers, for example, that share this content on. But again, the problem with social personas are very, very, very strong because we want to be seen in a specific light, and thereby we don't believe that gaming content will be very popular from not content creators to share the content on. Just to make a point there, social stigmas actually enable us to build Gazoom because it's just like otherwise everybody would be using one platform for business, for pleasure, for gaming, and LinkedIn wouldn't exist because Facebook was there before. So those platforms can only coexist because they're approaching or targeting a different part of your personality or how you want to portray yourself. Exactly. So that's, I think, really, really important. Yeah.
So I'll jump into another question because I know there's some curiosity from the investors. When did you meet Wida, and what is how did you get with him, and how is your relationship with him?
So we met Varia last October, I believe, end of September, beginning of October. And yeah, we were introduced through another VC. And yeah, we had a lot of calls, and we just really, really talked about our vision, and they really, really like where we're going, especially now with Telefonica having wanted to go into gaming as well. So that's like one of the options that Gazoom could be integrated in one of their services. But for us, it's also really, really important that we can go into use their network. For example, especially if they're like, for example, selling also contracts to internet, stuff like this. So there might be an option to bundle, for example, services. So that's just one of the options. But additionally, it's actually the connections. For example, they already introduced us, if some people might not know, but Telefonica has their own esports team. So they have connections in the gaming industry, which are really helpful for us so that we can partner up with them and then really deepen our defensibilities. Because if we partner up with these, and enroute Gazoom in the ecosystem, it starts to get harder and harder for competitors to enter or succeed.
Great, yes. So I'll switch to Spanish because we're finishing in a couple of minutes. So I'll give my closing. Well, before giving my closing remarks, is there anything you would like to add?
Any questions? I was going to say, we're always happy to answer questions and doubts. Just send it to a dozen investments. We will send an email back and make sure that you have your answers to whatever questions you have. Yeah, of course. Always feel free. Just reach out to us. We're always happy to answer any questions. So yeah, looking forward.
Great, Mark and Lucas. Great for your time this evening. I know it's been tough and challenging to be answering this live and having
fun. Exactly. So, yeah, we love challenges. That's how you grow, right?
I'm sure.
Cualquier duda, no que hubo sido.
Sí, eso es
okay.
So, now I'll switch to Spanish. Bueno, yo quería agradecer a todos los que habéis estado. Como veis, el equipo de Gazoom a nosotros es un equipo que nos encanta. La energía que nos transmite, el sector nos encanta, y como os dije cuando inició esto, nos gusta que sea eso, una compañía de producto y una compañía de tecnología, y ya podemos ir más en detalle en la presentación, en todo el product roadmap que tienen y todas las funcionalidades que quieren desarrollar, y también comentar que es eso, es una oportunidad seed stage, es una compañía que recién comienza y nosotros creemos en hacer esta apuesta por este equipo, por esta tecnología y por este sector. Vamos a publicar la oportunidad en una semana. Esto va a estar en nuestra plataforma y, como ya sabéis, después de esta sesión os vamos a enviar un correo para los que ya estéis interesados en hacer un precompromiso, pues podáis hacerlo desde ya. Es una ronda pequeña, de las que estamos acostumbrados a financiar en Dozen, pero Por eso creemos que eso, que en el sector y el equipo, el producto que tenemos, la verdad que el apetito por la compañía es bastante. Y con eso, pues me quedo sin nada más que decir. Agradeceros por su tiempo, por las preguntas y pues que se animen a invertir por este equipazo y por esta compañía. Gracias a todos.
Bueno, muchas gracias, chicos.
Gracias, chao.
Adiós.